Okay, we're live. Good evening, Facebook. This is Dr. Sharita Weatherspoon coming to you live again to discuss the Love Letters to My Girls Anthology project and give you an opportunity to meet one of the phenomenal women who is a part of this project as a contributing author. So we have with us now Ms. Mary Fernandez, who is a business and personal development coach and the owner of Women of Help and Influence. Thank you, Mary, for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me, Dr. Sharita.
Awesome, awesome. So for those of you who are joining us, we just want to, share information about this awesome project and the work that we're trying to do to inspire and motivate Black women and girls across the world. And I am so happy and, proud and elated that these women have just heeded the call to join me on this mission and have raised their hands and said, I'm with you on this. I'm going to write my love letter and we're going to impact these women and these girls. Regardless of their age, their geographic location, socioeconomic status, all of the things that make us different. What makes us the same is that we are Black women and we have very similar experiences regardless of where we are. And we just want our sisters to know that they are valuable, that they are worthy, that they are loved, that they are lovable, that they are beautiful, powerful, and unique. And this book is just one simple but powerful way for us to deliver that message to them, to help them on this journey through life. So, Mary, I know that you do a lot of different things. You are, I guess I would say, a Renaissance woman.
I like that. I'll take that. Yes.
Yes. So skilled and talented. Lots of different experiences. Can you share with us just a little bit about, who you are and what it is that you do?
All right. Well, today is it's like a menu or a recipe was being formed of my life to get me to where I am now. But I started as a volunteer in my community, following the footsteps of my mom and my dad, who were very active volunteers. My mom volunteered in the church, creating projects. And then my dad was a community activist and member of the league. And they got a lot of things done, including rebuilding the entire community. Mm-hmm. And just listening to them and watching them, I continued as a community activist and just helping in every way, staying in the background, but definitely helping in every way. That went on most of my life in college and in business. I found myself creating things for people. Mm-hmm. I did a political project for candidates for mayor. I did a community festival, all kinds of things to help express what I saw them thinking and bringing it to fruition. So wherever I could put my hands to the pedal, I was there to help. But one day I woke up and I needed to learn how to do for me what I do for others.
Okay, that's good. Mm-hmm. And once you came to that realization, what action did you take?
Wow. Well, there has been, I spent a lot of years taking care of family, and there was family members that went home to be with the Lord. Mm-hmm. I assisted my dad in taking care of my brother when it was time for him to go home, and just being in the background, being that helper. Mm-hmm. And then my dad and my mom, 2 sisters. And one day I woke up and I was still trying to do the same thing, but I found a narrative, like someone's writing your story that isn't including you. Mm. So I decided to step away from the noise and be who I am, who God is calling me to be, to put God first, family second, career third. And that started my direct sales, where I wanted to snap out of shy, step out of being in the background, open my mouth and speak my truth. And it's been interesting because sometimes you find that perfect coach or mentor and you're still trying to hide behind someone else's boldness or leadership. But then all of a sudden, you're back in square one because it's like individuals can take you just so far. You have to come back and go back inside and listen to the voice inside and use that voice to execute or produce anything that you want. So when Wuha was born, I call that a war cry for women. Mm-hmm. I was tired of running around in circles. I had heard many people say you already got what you need inside. And they would say things like, Mary, this coach or this program, you got all of that in you. And so stopped following in circles and decided to just reach out and do. So Wuha started and I was helping other professionals. And the most exciting thing was the candidate thing, because I knew that the candidates were running for mayor and city council and being president of a local business association. Mm-hmm. I said, one thing they need is for people to get to know who they are, not the candidate, not the person that people see. They need to see the real person behind this. Right. So when I created that program and they said yes, and they paid for the services, and the program was launched and became part of the public. And next thing I know, one of my clients did become mayor of the city. Mm. And I was just very happy. But it wasn't about me. It was about elevating whoever God puts in my path. Mm. So that same fight to make sure you're taking care of Mary, make sure you're speaking for Mary, make sure you do not hide out in the background, because that's what I'm so good at. Producing fashion shows and plays for North State University when I was there, just staying in the background, showcasing people. So I'm working diligently to showcase Mary's skill with the everyday woman, my beautiful Black sisters.
Okay. So just for our audience, I know what Wuha is, but they may not know.
Very good. Yes. Wuha is Women of Help and Influence. Okay. That name came, and business development came from a mentor or a coach who was trying to say, people will not know what Wuha is. They won't know what services you offer. So business development went in front of Women in Help and Influence, personal and business development. So what I found was there's so many talented and gifted women in my direct sales customer base. Mm-hmm. I found young teachers who stuck with me so long that they became principals and retired principals. Mm-hmm. And they went on to different things, but they never lived their dream. And I felt that this talent that one person has and another talent another person has, if you would just share with one another, come together in an arena, an honest conversation place, then there's nothing that anyone would need, because we're providing our gifts and our talents. Now, I never thought about putting it in a business, putting that into a business, mm-hmm. but in order to have a voice, it had to be packaged in a business. Right. So help meant, what can I do to help you? What do you need? And then influence, these powerful principals that retired and went home and started babysitting, yet they still had a hunger for their dream. Right. I started to reach into those corners and see what I could do to pull them out of that corner, out of that background, so they can do their second act. So it's all about personalization and what you need.
Yeah. So talk a little bit more about this whole idea of a second act.
Second act. Well, I experienced wonderful ladies who were executives in their jobs, traveling the world with their job. And then when it came to doing something for themselves, they almost lost their voice. They could identify with who they were naturally as a woman with natural gifts, not a job title, not, it's almost like me. I could see me like a mirror. Mm-hmm. The job title was one thing, separate from the job title and the responsibilities and how other people thought of them. Very often working with them, they could not speak up for themselves. They could not speak at a mic, stand in front of a group and speak up. Mm-hmm. Yet they could create great results on that job. Mm-hmm. So in the direct sales, over 37 years of teaching women skincare, makeup artistry, and conducting workshops, and through that company I also get to travel a lot. And I saw all these phenomenal women come from housewife, never running a business, to becoming executive, influential women who were just helping women. So I use that avenue as an exercise place or a personal growth place for the women that I would mentor and I would coach.
Mm-hmm.
And then I found that there are a lot more women out there. Once they get to a certain point, they became frozen and couldn't think anymore or couldn't try anymore. Mm-hmm. So that second act is what I wanted to flame in women. I wanted to fire that up. So I created something. I keep creating programs to bring that out. So mm-hmm. one of the things I'm doing locally now is a women's tea. And I hand selected some great women to honor and recognize and give them a chance to speak in an intimate environment. That's a little voice that can become a big voice, and to expose them to each other so they can become friends, because some of them don't have friends. Mm-hmm. They're out there in different little places because they knew the world when they were teaching, or they knew the world when they were head of this department or that department, but they don't know anyone now like-minded. Mm-hmm. Or they're hiding out doing things that do not show their gifts, that do not exemplify that powerful woman. So I create little projects to showcase them and to bring them out of that tight rosebud.
Okay, so you've said a lot there, and there's a couple of things that stood out to me, and the first is this issue that a lot of women have who haven't even gotten to retirement, right?
Right.
That they have these skills, they have these abilities, this knowledge base that they're using every day in the workplace, and somehow cannot make the connection to the fact that you can transfer all of that into something else. And that something else doesn't even have to have anything to do with
Absolutely.
what was.
Absolutely.
And you can profit from it.
Yes, yes,
so,
yes.
And maybe you're not interested in entrepreneurship, but there's still some ways that you can use that, whether it's in service or ministry, but you absolutely can use it in business and actually get paid your worth and your value for it. So that's the first thing. You said something a little earlier about standing behind somebody else's boldness. So it's kind of like you latch on to somebody who you feel can probably, help you make some progress. You want to learn from them, pick up on, some of the characteristics that have made them successful. But instead of actually doing that, you get lost in their shine and you end up not becoming who it is that you wanted to become in the first place. So that's really, really good. Now you are writing on the topic of stand tall for this book. So I want you to tell us first what that letter is going to be about, and what you expect the reader to take away from that. But then I also want you to give us some of the backstory to that. Why did you choose that topic?
Okay, wow, layers and layers and layers. Let's look at that little girl, Mary Jane, because my name is Mary Jane Fernandez. When she went to elementary school and had the little friend, the first friend outside of family ever, and this young lady was moved from my class to another class, and sadness fell on my heart, because here I am at this elementary school with all these people, and I know no one, and my first friend is moved out of my classroom. So I remember feeling a sadness. And then that same little girl was walking home, and someone said to her, because all of us were walking home from elementary school and we were older, Mary likes the wit, Mary likes the wit. And for the first time, that little girl spoke up and said, who likes who? And when I saw them shocked because I had a voice, I said, oh, you can command respect if you speak up. And as I continued onward, I noticed that with life happenings, traumas, sadness, life and death, people getting along, not getting along, being one of the last children to go to school, and all the big sisters are going to school, I felt like I was boxing into myself, collapsing into myself and not speaking. But there came a time when I went to college and I decided to break out of the glass prison I called shy and started owning my power. I wanted to dress as pretty as I wanted to. I wanted to look as pretty as I felt. And I went to leadership organizations, student college, and took on leadership positions. I just kept on taking on leadership positions. And I did that in the community as well. And so the backstory comes from how many women have lost their voice from feeling less than, or it's not my turn, or she could do this better, and just shrink and collapse on themselves. So I just decided to start speaking up. And when I stopped thinking about me, like when I took a picture with as a young girl, and we were at a cookout, family cookout, and I looked at the picture and I said, everybody looks normal. My picture looked like my eyes at the top of my head. They were, because my head was down and I was peeking through the top of, just peeking up. That was feeling small. And there's this poem out there, but who does it serve to be small? And I decided to put my shoulders back and start getting out there and making a difference in the world. And I began to speak boldly. I began to be the defender, the protector, the organizer, the creator, whatever. And I tell you, when I say I did a lot of things, my degree was in electronic technology because I was emulating my dad all the way to the nth detail. He was a leader, and he was a reader, and he was a mathematician, engineer. And I liked the way he thought, put things in order. So the serious part of me came from my dad. The full girly part came from my mom. And I saw my mom being taken advantage of because she was the volunteer for everything. And everybody was, let her do it. And then everyone sit down. So I said, I got to regroup and figure out how to help others without hurting me.
Right.
By not giving me any time, by not doing anything for me. And then I realized life pivots on a dime. Through my personal health, I had a challenge with that. And all of a sudden, thinking I'm living healthy, thinking I'm doing all the wonderful things I'm supposed to be doing. The next thing I know, I'm in the hospital. And the lady said, I'm glad you came because I could probably have stayed home and not have made it.
Oh, wow.
And the pain was through the roof. Like, if there's such a thing as a scale 1 to 10, the pain went 1 to 50. And 7 days in the hospital. Husband was in Puerto Rico visiting dad, and it was just a life pivoting moment. And it reaffirmed to me that we as women have got to wake up and make sure we can take care of ourselves when life changes. You never know how it's going to change.
Right.
So if that little girl, or our Black sisters and melanin sisters, because my baby girl, half Latin, half Black woman, mixed, and she's the one who said melanin mom. Because she doesn't have dark skin, she has nice, beautiful skin. She said, well, she's melanin. So I used that word in my video. So I said at a speaking engagement, as I talked to the ladies, to wake up and take life more serious. Don't wait till tomorrow, because tomorrow is not promised to anyone. Yeah. So just looking at wanting to save the world. You can't save the whole world, but you can do what you can do where you are right now.
Right. So a couple of things from that. You said that you can command respect with your voice, if you speak up. And I think that is reflective of what this project is about. It's about us speaking up and speaking up for each other and reminding the world that we are here.
Yes.
We will be heard.
Yes.
Will be valued. And we have to do it for ourselves because no one is doing it for us. And then the other thing you said was about, you have to figure out how to take care of others without hurting yourself. And I think that is one of the biggest challenges that we face as women, yes, but
Mhm.
especially as Black women, we bear the burden of the expectation or even stereotype that we can handle it all and we can do it all and we will.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how much it hurts us. It doesn't matter to what extent it's detrimental to our well-being, whether that's emotionally, physically, or spiritually. You know, we live up to that hype of being able to do it all.
Yes.
But there is there is no honor in my perspective
Mhm.
in being Superwoman, because Superwoman is a fictional character.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's the name I gave myself. She's the one who put me in the hospital. It's Superwoman inside of me.
Yes, Superwoman is dead in my mind.
Uh-huh.
I believe in identifying and owning your power and standing in that, not trying to be all powerful, all things, do all things for everybody.
Mhm.
Cannot do that. Like something has to give. Some
Yes.
system is going to fail. And if it's not who you're trying to save and help, it will be you without a
Absolutely.
doubt.
Absolutely.
Without a
When you're on a plane, it's put the oxygen on you first
doubt. Mm-hmm.
before you can help anyone else.
Mm-hmm.
And we take a title, mother, wife, sister, daughter, friend,
Mm-hmm.
and we almost take it as a burden sometimes because we allow things to be dumped
Mm-hmm.
and into our spaces if you can handle all of that.
Right.
And you're trying to be everything to everybody. But I've learned that rest is important, your sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Your cutoff time is important. Downtime, which means for entrepreneurs, in one of the books I wrote that my daughter introduced me to, Sidebar Mom. It was like she was an entrepreneur in my organization,
Mm-hmm.
and we didn't want to talk business all the time. But when we were talking, if we wanted to switch lanes, because she's a phenomenal woman herself, and
Mm-hmm.
mom's a successful businesswoman in her eyes, and she would say, side by mom, so and so did so and so, totally different conversation. And then sidebar, and we go to a totally different conversation. And then sidebar, and it was just like navigating through a conversation. We were having joy and fun.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so you have to have that time to be who you want to be. My priority is my family
Right.
and giving back to them some of the joy and the love and support that they've given me. But at the head of that is my husband, because the children are grown now.
Mm-hmm.
So prioritize what's important to you.
Right.
And another thing on the journey was don't miss your life
Mm-hmm.
doing other things.
Mm-hmm.
When we would do business trips, all those 37 years, my family was with me, my husband, my children when they were little, and my husband every chance we had, so that they could enjoy the journey as well.
Mm-hmm.
And so we would not outgrow the people we love from
Right.
focusing in on things outside of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So owning your power, owning your you, who you are, how you talk, what you like, what you don't like, how you want to, you know, uh, express yourself in your signature look. It has nothing to do with what someone else thinks of us.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that's a battle you fight
Right.
because people don't like how you talk or how you dress or why you so confident or why. That why has nothing to do with us. It's all about them trying to make us comfortable, themselves comfortable in our space, and us adjust to
Right.
them,
Yeah.
others' expectations of us.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope I made that kind of clear.
Yeah. So that's really about making the decision to live authentically and be
Absolutely.
authentically you. And
Absolutely.
your real self is just wonderful. Like there's no need to try to change to fit into a mold or an image. And I
Mm-mm.
like what you said in mentioning all of the roles that we take on. It's like those roles become our identity.
Yeah.
Like I'm a mother, so I am a mother,
Yeah.
and that's who I become. But we are multifaceted people, and regardless of the role that I take on, I am always Sharita.
Absolutely.
Always
Absolutely.
Sharita. And Sharita has to be seen and heard. And Sharita has to feel valued outside of her roles as mother and wife and sister and daughter and
Yes.
friend. Just people being able to see her for who she is and her dreams and her desires, even her failings.
Yes. Yes.
And yeah, I think we feel like we're made valuable because of these roles,
Right.
and
Right.
we're already valuable as
Yeah.
individual people. We are valuable.
Mhm.
The roles can add to that, I kind of supplement it or accentuate it.
Mhm. Mhm.
But having a role doesn't necessarily make you more valuable. Neither does not having a particular role. So for the woman who wants to be a wife who isn't,
Yes.
the woman who wants to be a mother who isn't, you are not any less than the woman who has those things.
Absolutely. One friend once told me that you're not the car you drive. You're
Mm-hmm.
not the suit you wear. You are pure, pure God sent creation.
Mm-hmm.
And so, separate from that, you can rejoice in who you are every day because you love you. Like I say in my faith, God loves me so much that I can be joyful all the time. I mean, I can really be joyful and then, cut off the silliness and then get back to work. But I remember someone asked me, what does it take to take you out of your mindset? Like, what does it take to break you down? Someone actually said that to me because I did
Wow.
not
Why
I
do you
did
want to
not let the
know?
foolishness enter my space. What had happened was not part of me. And I didn't realize the person was digging, digging, digging at my person, at
Uh-huh.
who I am and who I choose to be. And that was not to carry the garbage
Right.
that was going on around me inside of me. So
Mm-hmm.
when I heard that a few weeks later in my head, I said, oh, so that person really isn't for me.
Right.
That's someone I should exit out of my space. So
Mm-hmm.
we have to, I think, be wise enough to know who's for us. There's a book out there called "Who's Holding Your Ladder," who's for
Mm-hmm.
you and who's not, who's
Yeah.
healthy for you and who's not. Because if you want to spread your wings and someone else has you in a box, that box is who I think you are,
Mm-hmm.
not who
You
you
really
really
are.
are. Because I don't accept that. I want
Right.
you to be who I am.
Right. Right.
I
Right. That's
created a
good.
program for.
Let me jump in real quick because we are running
Oh
short
yeah,
on
yeah.
time.
Oh, time
So
is flying.
yeah, we're running short on time. But I wanted to ask you to share, just with the audience, why you decided to become a part of this project and, what you would say to other women out there who, are hearing about it and they're thinking about it, but not sure, if they're a good enough writer, if what they
Ah,
have to say is valuable enough to participate. What would you say to them?
wow. I decided to become a part of this program because in my circles of mentorship, because I have some powerful mentors now in my life
Mm-hmm.
that are elevating me as a person. That's where I met you in that circle. And
Mm-hmm.
I could see your heart, hear your heart, and the fact of how you got the download. That's exactly how entire projects come to me, and I
Mm-hmm.
could relate. So the why was, if you're going to step out of your comfort zone and something as wonderful as this is presented, jump, run, be a part of this big worldwide potential voice and speak your heart into the lives of the women and little girls uh, who can benefit right where they are from something as precious as a love letter.
Mm-hmm.
And what I would say to women who say they're not an author, they're not a writer, is like, if you could change the world, if you could change one life, imagine your letter in the hands of a woman or a little girl sitting on a comfortable chair with her pillows and a blanket over her head and a flashlight, reading those love letters just to feel good and energized and accepted as she gets ready to take on her day. What is her day like? Who is good in her life? Who is challenging? Who is hurting? Who is not speaking joy into her? Your love letter can go into the homes, into the schools, into the classrooms, They can be in the car, encouraging someone who's trying to encourage themselves. So I challenge any woman, young girl, teenager, who has a voice in her heart that she wants someone to hear, that you are wonderful. You are loved. Stand tall. When you enter a room and you see other people and you shrink back and start comparing yourself and start wondering this little shrink back thing, and someone else speaks up and speaks with authority, and we almost want to hold our voice back. But someone told me, speak up, speak out. Do not whisper and have people asking you, what did you say? What did you say? What did you say? Articulate and add some volume and own your space. You belong in that room. You belong in that executive space, in that university. You belong. Your space has been bought and paid for. So stand tall. If you find yourself shrinking, put those shoulders back, hold that head up high, and listen to see what you can do to be a blessing to that environment, or how that environment can feed your soul.
Awesome. Awesome, Mary. I so appreciate that message to our viewers. I got something out of it as well. So to all of you who are watching this video, whether it's live or the replay, I hope that you were inspired just by listening into this conversation. And I want you, Black woman, Black girl, you're hearing this, you want to be a part of this project, you want to learn more about it, visit us at smpl.ro/love letters. I'll make sure that URL is in the description so you can find it easily to learn more about how you can become a contributing author. If writing just isn't your thing, or maybe you just want to be supportive of the project, you can visit loveletterstomygirls.com and sign up to stay updated with the progress of the project. Get an opportunity to give us your feedback on the book cover design, on our t-shirt design, help us get the word out about the project. Any other way that you could potentially support us, we would also appreciate that. And I just want to say to each of you that in your words lies the power to heal, to uplift, to inspire, and to save someone's life. So ignite the power in your words. I appreciate you all for tuning in. Mary, I appreciate you. Good night.
Good night. Thank you so much.
Thank you.